Are we on?
The Sal Sirchia Show, the mayor of rock and roll.
And yes, indeed, Frankie, baby, we are on. Frank, that was Frank Carillo just now, folks, for all of you out there listening, when you heard the intro. Say, are we on? I kind of like that. I might have to add that in there, Joanne. What do you think? It's like, are we on?
I think so, yes. Let's do it.
You can add it on, Sally, not a problem. It's so good to be on the show. I really appreciate it, both of you.
There's been so much excitement. I mean, this is show number 20 tonight, right? Show number 20. And
that's right.
The first show with the brand new website that we have to give a shout out to Fabian Gustavo, who's been working like 90 hours a day,
yep.
Even though there's only 24 hours in a day, but he's been working 90 hours a day, putting all this stuff together. If you, I'm sure a lot of people.
Fabian, thank you, buddy.
yeah. He's fantastic.
God, I'm sorry, Joanne.
No, I was just saying how fantastic he is.
Oh, forget about it. And he's all the way in Panama, working in Panama, doing all this stuff, and all the way up to the last minute, and putting more stuff up there, and saying 5 minutes to showtime all over Facebook, and all these cool pictures of Frank. Frank really is not a big Facebook guy. He's more of an email guy. But if he saw what's been going on Facebook, he's like, I think he gained about 5,000 new fans this week.
Well, I really appreciate it. I'm really not an internet kind of guy. It kind of scares me a little bit, only because it takes time, and I'm trying to, I'm writing songs, and I'm just, recovering from, a little bit of an illness, and I'm much better. Everything's fine. So I'm really excited about getting back into playing, and especially, Sal, that I'm talking with you, because you and I, brother, go back many years.
Oh, man. This is how far we go back. I got a little story. I remember the year was 1978. My very good friend that I grew up with since we were little kids, his name's Sal Sirchia, came to my house in Ozone Park, and he had an album with him. He says, "Hey, Sal, my friend Joe's friend, Frank Carillo's album just came out called Rings Around the Moon." And he came to my house, and we put on the album. And the first song, as soon as we put it on, "Come on, Dallas, treat me in the alley late tonight."
That was a little rude, but it was a good rock and roll tune, I think.
No, that's a great album. Every song on there is great. I could sing you every song on that album from one side to the other. The thing is, it came out in 1978, and all the people who were signed in '78 were having a hard time because the big, disco thing was happening.
It was very difficult. It was really funny. Timing is everything, Sal. We came out at a time where it was really, it was a little tough. Not like it is today, but back then it had been a little tough. But we had a lot of fun, and the band did a couple of records, and we had a great time on the road. And we made a lot of friends. And in the last tour the big tour that we did was with Bad Company. And I've remained friends with the guys all these years, and I'll be doing an acoustic show Funny Enough with Simon Kirk up here on June 7th. But I'm doing a Bandolero show, as you know, April 26th at the Cutting Room.
That's right. We got Frank's going to be playing. I got it all over here. He's going to be playing at the Cutting Room in New York City. Actually, believe it or not, today's the 13th, correct? So exactly 13 days from now. So you got to, Frank, you better go play win four numbers 1313, because today's the 13th and you're my show, and on the 13th, today's the 13th, and in exactly 13 days, which is the 26th of April, you'll be playing at the Cutting Room.
That's
Saturday,
right, and
April
I don't
26th.
care what anybody says. To me, 13 is a lucky number.
Yeah, and you got it here twice, so I think tomorrow you should put $2 down. You forget about the Red Queen tomorrow. Put your money on 1313 tomorrow, because you usually put your money on the Red Queen.
Well, we'll see what happens. But listen, Sal, you've done some amazing things, and I got to tell you, pal, I'm really proud of you. I really am.
Oh, thank you. You're one of my big inspirations, because Frank Carillo was probably back when I first met you. Probably I think it was maybe 1980 or 1981 around that time, and you were like the only person I had ever met that actually had a record out. I mean, Frank Carillo was like a rock star. A rock star's going to come to my house, and we're going to meet somebody who actually is on an album. To us, it's like, wow.
That was a big deal being on an album. It was pretty exciting for all of us. It was great.
Well, back then, being on an album was like being on TV. You only had, 10 channels, so if you were on TV, it was great. Now everybody's on YouTube who just plays acoustic is, getting the chance to be heard.
Right.
Now, cable has 50 million channels, so the time when you were out was the really great times, I think, because, like having an album in your head. Wow, this guy's on the record, or that guy's on a TV show.
Yeah,
and
that
now
was
it's
the
like,
amazing thing. Back then, it was an exciting experience because, there wasn't this enormous platform like it is today to get your music out and to get your records out. Of course, record sales are not what they were, but back then, when you had a record deal, we're lucky enough, like we were, to get a record deal. I had some, great help. I mean, Peter Frampton gave me my first huge break back in 1971, and then I got to meet some amazing people and work with some people and had some really good friends in England and the industry, and I was a lucky person, and I feel very grateful. I mean, I'm grateful that I still do what I do.
That's right. I mean, there's a lot of people who did it for a little while and had a deal or whatever, and it didn't happen, so they ended up, just giving up the music business. But you're still in the music business, and you never give up, and I don't think you ever will. I mean, it's in your blood. I mean, me and my brother Tony, even when we were working with you in the studio, we would just say, "Look at Frank. I mean, this is his life. He'll never, change."
Well, no, you know what it is, Sal? It's really interesting. Some people want to make it really, really big and be rock stars, quote unquote. And from the very beginning, of course, I always wanted to have successful records, and I would have loved to have a big career. But I have always been a musician, and that's all I wanted to do. And I've worked with some of the greatest people in the industry. 2 years ago, Golden Earring asked me to play on their new album, on the whole album. They flew me over to England. George Coymans from Golden Earring and I, and his wife and my wife, and our kids were like family. I'm in the business. I love it. But I really, really feel grateful that I'm still a musician and I can still do it. What's more important are the songs and the people that you hang with. And let me tell you, Sally, most important thing is not only the music, but the second thing when you're playing with a band is the hang. And the hang meaning that you get along with everybody and it's fun. Because music business, as you know, is a difficult son of a gun of a business.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, all the happy musicians are the ones that that just keep doing it. So much bad blood happened once. So many bands, once they got signed,
right,
and got successful, fell apart because of it. The business is like so heavy duty on them, and the stress, and people start getting into drugs,
and people get into egos, and people's egos. This one is going better than this one, and this is better than that one, and I always hated that. And one of the things, I never told you this, Sal. I never really wanted the band to be called Carillo back then when I was on Atlantic. I never wanted the band to be Frank Carillo and the Bandoleros. I wanted a name band. When I played with John Hammond when he did the Wicked Grin album that Tom Waits produced, one of the greatest experience I had was being the guitar player with Augie Myers from Bob Dylan and Sir Douglas Quintet and the Texas Tornadoes, and Stephen Hodges from Tom Waits Band, and Larry Taylor from Canned Heat, and also Tom Waits bass player. I had the best fun. It was amazing, and the idea was I wasn't the front man, John Hammond was, and it was a gas. And if you can go through life and do these kinds of things as a musician, you're a lucky man. A lot of people ask me and tell me, hey, but don't you wish you were as big as this or that? And I go, you know what? I got a great wife. I got great kids. I got a couple of great grandchildren. I live in a beautiful place with plenty of land. I'm a happy man, and I get along with people. That's all I care about at this point, to be honest.
Yeah, and you know, and just thinking that way, you've been a millionaire all your life. Because I always tell people, I say, you know, you got to have the fame and fortune are two different things. You know, you could be famous and be broke and be happy, but you could be rich and miserable. So
I know a lot of them.
Yeah. Exactly, me too. I mean, I always tell people, I'm on talk shows, and I always say to people, I said, man, I've been a millionaire all my life. Why? Because I have my health and happiness, and you can't buy that for all the money in the world.
Sal, it really, you know, it's really funny. You just said it. But a lot of people listening right now might sound like, oh, that sounds like cliche. It's not cliche. What's cliche is when people get famous, their heads get really fat, they start to really demand things and stuff, and they become cliches. Mm-hmm. Their life gets ruined, and then they go to you know, the thing is, if you can handle it, the whole life is balance. If you balance it, you'll have a good life.
Exactly.
But the most important thing, as we know, is the music.
That's right.
And the music,
absolutely.
It's what we do, you know, and that is something that drives us. So I still do it. I still wake up in the morning and I go down, I pick up a guitar and I try and write, and I do a lot of writing in the middle of the night, and it's still the music that excites me.
Exactly. And when you're a musician and you're into writing, and you always stay excited. Like even me, I'm just as excited now as I was 30 years ago with everything. But I love being in all kind of entertainment. You know,
right.
I'm an actor. I do the radio show now. I write songs. I have young kids covering my songs. So all this kind of entertainment stuff to me is great. And I never think about the money part because I'm not making any money. I'm just enjoying life and you know, having the ball going, doing all this fun stuff, you know?
If you can go to the end of your life and you're on your deathbed and you can put a big smile on your face and go, hey, that was a nice ride.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. When I'm in when they lay me in the box, I'm going to be there with a big smile. And then when they come next to me, I'm going to give them a little wink. I want to also tell all the audience out there right now. Yeah. I want to tell
my wife
listening.
just in case I go first.
Oh, God forbid. I want to tell all the, we probably got about a good 15,000 people listening tonight worldwide. Frank, this is internet radio. This is not AM or FM where you start driving into New Jersey and you lose the frequency. This is.
I know, and I'm really knocked out about that. I want to say hello to all, and I'm grateful. All my friends in Holland and Belgium and Germany and Japan, and I really appreciate it. And you guys know who you are. I'll be coming back soon, maybe in the summer. But this is really a great opportunity. And the most important thing is, because you and I are friends, to do this, it's fantastic and it's easy for me because I'm not a real great interview guy. I don't really like it that much. But I'm talking to my buddies. That's different.
Well, that's what it is so far. I mean, I've done 20 shows, and every show I've had, everybody I've had on the show is a friend of mine. So it never really feels like I'm talking in front of 10,000 people. It always feels like I'm just having a conversation with my friend. And
we have a glass of wine, sitting at the table, and talking about what we love to talk about.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what has been going on. And for all the people listening out there, if you're tuned into the show on my website right now at www.mayorofrockandroll.com, you will get a chance to win Frank Carillo and the Bandoleros Someday CD. So if you could go to, if you're on the page and put in some comments, or I want to see how many comments. I figure about the third comment that comes in on the page, you will win a free Frank Carillo and the Bandoleros CD called
Why don't
Someday.
we make it a couple of more? Why don't we?
We'll do that. Why
don't we make it 3 and 7 and
all right,
11?
So let's see. I'm going to write that down. We'll say caller number 3.
Number 7?
Caller or on the what is the comment post there, right on the page, the Frank Carillo's page. People hopefully some of them are tuned in on there. They're tuned in all over the place.
Good.
So let's say 3, and 5. Let's say
7.
when we see 3 and 5, we'll look at that in a little while. But I just want to also say again real quick that Frank Carillo and the Bandoleros will be playing Saturday night, April 26th. The doors open at like 6 p.m. Frank might go on at 7 p.m. Sometimes you know how these gigs are, 7:30, maybe even 8. But we
Might
get
be
there
later.
at 7.
Might be later.
Yeah,
It's
and
Saturday
that's the
night.
Southern Room in New York City, 44 East, 32nd Street, New York.
The
And you
opening
can buy
band is
advance
Mark
tickets.
Lacob and the and the Van Buren Boys.
Oh, okay. Yeah, say that again, Frank.
Van Buren Boys.
The Van Buren Boys. Okay.
They'll be the opening act.
Oh, okay. That sounds good. And you can also buy advance tickets here, right on my website. And you save, believe it or not, we worked it out with them. We save, if you buy tickets at my website, you'll be saving $5. Can you believe that,
Good,
Frank?
I'll buy a couple of tickets.
Yeah, you can save $5 if you call from. Did you know that, Joanne?
No, I didn't know that. But you have a call also. You have a caller on.
Oh, what do we got? Let's hear what we got.
Hey, I heard that Frank Carillo plays guitar on Central Park and West. Is that true?
Well, actually, I don't play guitar. Ian wrote that because we were all staying at the hotel on Central Park and West, and he was writing. And after our recording sessions, we would all meet in the bar. And when he wrote Central Park and West, he wrote that into the song because I would go to my room and write tunes, and Ian would be writing tunes. And I was shocked to find that he put that in his song. And it makes me really happy because Ian's a phenomenal guy and a good friend. He's a good man.
Hey, Frank, what makes him? Do you recognize that voice, by the way?
It sounds really familiar, but, my hearing is a little strange. Who is it?
Go ahead. Tell me
That's
who you
what
are, brother.
happens when you're pushing 60, brother. You know what I mean? It happens.
Who always used to call you Pops, Frank? Remember, even when we were even when you were 30 years old, he used to call you Pops.
That ain't Tony.
No, not Tony. Okay, you remember Paulie, right?
Yeah.
Hey, how are you, brother?
Paulie, I'm fine, brother. How are you?
I'm doing really well.
It's been a long, long time.
It has. It's been an awful long time.
But you know what the beauty of this, Paulie, is that as we get older, the music still makes you young, and it's great to connect with old friends. I'm really glad you called in.
Oh, it's dynamite. It's absolutely dynamite. Sal's got his little thing here going. It's great.
I hope
Paulie tunes in every Sunday, man. Paulie's always on the checking out the show.
Paulie's a good man. Wow, holy mackerel!
And you know where he is, Frank? He lives in Florida. I mean, he's listening to the show in Florida right now.
I would have said holy something else, but are we allowed?
You can say anything you want.
Sure,
this is internet radio.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, internet radio, Frank. You could say anything you want. It's a whole different ballgame. You could, if we had a camera, you could strip naked if you want to. It won't matter. But being it's radio, you could curse if you like.
I'm not sure about that. But here's the deal. Listen, I have a Facebook page which I rarely go to, and anybody that ever goes to them, I apologize to all of you. It's not that I don't want to. I'm kind of like not into. It just takes up time, and not only that, I'm not really savvy when it comes to the internet. So, like Sal said, I'm mostly an email guy and telephone. I still love to talk to people straight on. So I'm sorry to all of you who've gone to the Facebook page, but it will be updated, and we're going to update the Frank Carillo and the Bandoleros website because there are some interesting things coming.
Hey, it's funny, Frank, you say that. You talk to a lot of people these days, and they're like, oh, I don't talk on the phone no more. I'm a text and email kind of guy. And I said, actually, I've talked to my friend Jerry McCambridge. I tried to call him the other day. He doesn't listen to his messages or nothing. He said, Sal, I'm just an email and text guy. I said, so that means you never want to hear my voice again until we die? So
well, I got to tell you something really strange. My kids say we wanted to get them watches and things for Christmas. They go, we don't wear watches. We have phones. I'm going, I love watches. Nobody wears a watch. People are texting and tweeting. And I just heard something really bad that somebody I know was hit by somebody who was tweeting or texting in the car. So whoever's out there, don't do it.
Tell them, Frank, it's getting bad out there.
Getting Bad Out There, baby.
That's the name of Frank Carillo and the Bandolero's other album. It's called Getting Bad Out There. We're going to play some songs from that today.
And the second one is Someday, which Sal will have some. To do with As He Wishes. Frank
Carillo also on the website, on the www Mayor of Rock and Roll website, which is right now on Frank's page. If you go there, if you're listening from that page, if you look on the side, you have all four. You got the Frank Carillo and the Bandoleros Bad Out There, plus Someday, and also Frank's solo albums, Rings Around the Moon and Street of Dreams, which is not the only stuff he's done. But if you could click on that. You could click on any one of them.
Re-release that, funny enough. Hey, Joanne, I don't mean to exclude you in any of this. How are you?
Oh, not at all. I'm listening. I'm having a great time listening. You guys are old buddies, and it's very interesting. So you're fine.
Joanne
you have no
is
idea,
always on
honey.
Joanne is with the show all the time. She's like my partner. I'm like Howard Stern, and she's Robin, and we usually. But I could.
Right.
But Joanne, I think she's busy worried about the callers right now because I got a feeling some more people are going to be calling.
Go ahead, whatever you got to do, Sal.
No, that's okay. But we got Paulie. Paulie, man, what else is happening? Sing one of Frank's songs.
Listen, I got to tell you, and I've told this to Sal. That song "Red Queen" just blows me away. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That is such a great tune, man. So let me ask you a question. Did you write that or just steal that from Tom Petty?
You're a mean son of a bitch. Oh, I wrote that. It was really funny. I wrote it on an acoustic guitar, and it was kind of like a slow kind of thing, and I wrote this thing, and it was about stuff that, I had been going through at the time, and my wife had suggested, you ought to go in and record that with the guys, and I said, yeah, well, how? She goes, just plug in, just do it. And Paul Orfino produced it, and it worked out really great. And it's our medley of hits. It's
a wonderful tune, man.
When we go to Europe, it's like crazy. They know all the songs. They sing along, and it's really funny because a lot of them they singing it with like a Dutch accent, a German accent, all this stuff, but they know the words, and it's like sometimes I just back off the mic during Red Queen. I let them sing it.
That's wonderful.
It is wonderful.
And you know what? Oh, so many people are probably hearing what you guys are talking about. Joanne, you have that queued up. Can we listen to Red Queen right now?
Sure.
Yeah, let's go for it. What do you say, guys? Let's let the world hear Red Queen because they're waiting in Japan to hear it right now.
Okay, here we go.
Let it rip. This is Red Queen by Frank Carillo and the Bandoleros.
Born in the back street where nobody breathes, born from toil and trouble. Hold on tight to what you believe, 'cause paradise grows from the rubble. Everyone says the old ways are dead and love has a brand new hairdo. Can you be sure the motives are pure? Believe what they say if you care to. You say you got something, well I don't care. I put my money on the Red Queen, and when the pages turn, she'll still be there. I put my money on the Red Queen. I leave the shadows where they belong, and I take up the spaces that nobody wants. I don't care if you think I'm wrong. I put my money on the Red Queen. Maybe time's a little bit hard, and the color of love is money. But in the time you can deal the next card, fortunes are made in plenty. But all the king's horses, dead president, won't fill up that space inside you. And a hole will get bigger and much more intense till you find out how much you've been lied to. But you say you know something and I don't care. I put my money on the Red
song
Thank you very much. I
that
gotta tell
song
you,
is so hot. I have an erection right now.
Paulie, did you just say that?
Yes.
I sure did.
Joanne, did you hear it? Poor Joanne. Well, it's like Howard Stern and
That's
Robin.
fine. I probably have one too. That is a sexy song. I love it.
Baby. That's from the Frank Carillo and the Bandoleros Bad Out There album CD, which is also on this website. If you go to the page, just click on it. If you want to, pick up your own copy, it'll take you right to Amazon.com. So all you 10,000 people out there, maybe we'll sell 10,000 copies tonight. Would be lovely, don't you think?
Well, that would be nice, but that record came about by the guys getting together and just doing a bunch of sessions, and we listened back to the track, and we were pretty shocked that that we have something here, and that's how the band really started. We went on from there, and then we toured Europe, and we started doing some small gigs with just four of us. My drummer Eddie Seville, percussionist Norman Del Tufo, Carl Allwire on stand-up bass, and me on guitar. And
I hope them guys are tuned in. They're probably tuned in, checking this out, right?
Yeah, well, a couple of the guys are working tonight, but the funny thing was that my brother came to a show. My brother is the guitar player for Joan Osborne. My brother Andrew, and when he heard the band, he said, "I want in. Whenever I can play with you, can I play with you?" And I said, "Without question," because my brother's a brilliant musician.
I'm hearing an echo, a repeat. Does somebody have their computer sound on out there?
Does someone have? If you do, please turn it off, and we won't get it anyway. Anthony Beneducci is on, and
Is it better with my voice? With the how's that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you probably had the sound on your computer, so you were hearing the show.
No. What I had was what do they call it when you don't have to speak into them?
Speakerphone.
After this operation, I forget things.
Oh well, you have a speakerphone.
I had the speaker on the phone.
Oh well, I mean it was just chopping up. It was getting it was getting like a repeat where it was repeating everything you were saying. So maybe it's like picks it up.
Shut
and
up and put the douchebag. Beneducci on.
Oh, Beneducci.
Only Paul could call up and ask Frank if he copied that song from Tom Petty.
Thank you. I didn't think I could feel worse than I did 2 minutes ago, but now I do.
What's up, brother? How are you, brother Frank? It's Anthony. I used to come to the shows all the time with Sal. Come for you remember me?
Oh, absolutely. What's going on?
What's going on, brother? What's going on? I just wanted to give a quick call in and say, and Sal could vouch for this here. All the time that I've known you, you've been a wonderful, great guy, and I love your music, and I happen to think you got the greatest voice in rock and roll. And you're one of the best guitar players I've ever heard, and Sal can tell you that.
I can't thank you enough. I really appreciate that. That's the thing is that people appreciate what you do. As long as your head doesn't get fat, that's the most important thing. And I've been really lucky that people have liked what I've done, and I'm really, really happy to be doing this at my age and still out there and having fans and from all over the world now because of the internet. I mean, there's a Japanese site and sites in Belgium, Holland, and Germany, and and Sal having me on the show is like really exciting because we're all of us are old buddies. So.
Oh yeah, I mean Paul. Joanne, you'll love this story. Paul.
Yeah.
Actually, him and Sal Filateo invested some money. And they, when Frank Carillo produced two of my songs, Too Much Pain and Tomorrow, when we had the band Crystallize, Frank Carillo produced those two songs. He actually produced 5 of our songs. The first 3 we did, we paid for. And then Sal Filateo and Paul Speakers, both of them put up some money because they loved my song Too Much Pain. They said, we got to record this. And they actually...
That's bullshit. We just wanted to hang out with Carillo.
That's what I think it was. You guys just wanted to get back in the studio and feel like rock stars. I think you're right.
That's it. We were big producers. What are you kidding?
You're right. We were the executive producers, and I love that title, the executive producers.
Yeah.
That's right. There you go.
And we went back in, and
we're looking forward to the gig on the 26th, and it's going to be the first gig that we've done since October. We're working on we've got a couple of things in the can, and I'm doing an acoustic show on June 7th with Simon Kirk from Bad Company. We're co-headlining an acoustic show up in the Town Crier in Beacon, New York.
Yeah, we're going to do another show on that. We're
going to do a show on that, and we're going to get Simon on as well.
That's right. Yes, you hear that, Joanne? We're going to have Frank and Simon together. Simon's the drummer from Bad Company. Remember the song, I Can't Get Enough of Your Love? Also, making love down.
And I got to tell you something. And Simon is a heck of an acoustic guitar player and songwriter. We've written a bunch of songs together. So, we've known each other almost 40 years, and it's now that he lives in America, it's great that we can get together and do these things. So, everything seems to be moving forward. I got a couple of songs, and I wanted to tell you about this. I'm waiting for it to come out, but it's a movie called Danny Glover's
Prelude to
film.
a Kiss?
What's that? Yeah,
Was
right.
it Prelude to a Kiss?
Look at that. You remember
Prelude
that
to
one,
a Kiss is an old one with Annie Golden. But this is, I got two songs in the Danny Glover film that's coming out called Highland Park, believe it or not.
Wow, from East New York. Remember Highland Park? I wonder if that's what it's about.
No, it's actually a Highland Park. I believe it takes place in Detroit. And it's a really interesting film. I don't know when it's coming out. I got that one, and I'm working on a couple of new film things that I'm hoping to finish up in the next couple of months. And other than that, things are just rolling along. I just want to get back into the groove again.
Oh, you are in the groove, baby. Just being on the Sal Sirchia show puts you on the top of the groove. Yeah,
absolutely, guys. It does. I can't believe I'm talking to all of the four of you, because this is it really is exciting, and I'm not a big guy for doing interviews, especially with people I don't know, but people I do know, it's like sitting around a table with a bottle of wine and hanging.
That's right. And you got Joanne, baby, here, too.
Yeah, so I said the four of you.
Also, Beneducci, it's true, Anthony Beneducci always says, Frank Carillo's voice does something to me. We used to be driving around in the car.
He's got this sexual appeal. I'm sitting here with an erection 10 floors wet. I mean, come on.
Here we go.
He said that his voice is almost, not in a bad way, but in a good way. He would say, I remember you saying to me, it's like haunting. Whenever I hear that voice, it brings me back to such great times that his voice haunts me.
It's really nice.
Hey, can I say something? I think you look, Frank, I think you look awesome in that hat. I love you in that hat. Very
Thank you.
sexy.
I have a really nice story about that hat. I was working with John Hammond right after he did the Wicked Grin album that Tom Waits produced. And I met Augie Myers, who now is one of my closest friends. And Augie Myers was the keyboard player for the Sir Douglas Quintet, and he and Doug Somm had the Texas Tornadoes, Grammy winners and the whole thing. And Augie and he's from Texas. And I had gone down to visit him, and he took me to Herb's hat shop. And he said, Frank, you got to get a hat. He said it like this, Frank, you got to get a hat, man. So I said, okay. And I didn't want to get like a big cowboy hat. And they had something that they call a gambler's hat. And I bought that, and I've got that black one, and I've got two gray ones, and they're really nice.
Wow.
I really love that hat, and it's because of Augie Myers. And Augie plays, he also, Augie plays with Bob Dylan. He's done Love and Theft, and he did the one that Dylan got the Grammy Award for a number of years ago. And he's phenomenal. He's the guy that made the Vox organ the sound. He's the guy that taught the guys who did 96 Tears that lick. And in fact, Augie Myers was when Augie was in England with the Sir Douglas Quintet, John Lennon and George Harrison. came to the show and they said, Augie, how do you get that sound? And Augie went, Vox organ and a Fender amp, brother. And then John started playing a Vox organ too. But yeah, I've been, like I said, guys, I've been a real lucky man.
Yeah, man, and you are still doing it after all these years. You're playing again. I'll say this, I mean, you're playing again at the Cutting Room. That's a really good gig. I mean, people who play at the Cutting Room are all name acts, and Frank is still a name act after all these years. Like I said, even before his deal with Atlantic Records, he had a group called Doc Holliday, right?
Right, absolutely.
And that was an album that was out of a band that you had called Doc Holliday.
Bob Mayo was on guitar and keyboards, who went on to huge fame with Peter Frampton and the live album and subsequent stuff. We lost Bob, I guess, about 9 or 10 years ago, and they were on tour. He was on tour with Peter, and he passed away on the road, and it was really sad because he was young and he was brilliant, and he was the guitar player that when we would play together, I had to be on the top of my game every minute because that's how good Bob Mayo was.
Yeah, I met Bob Mayo. I actually jammed with him at that club. What the hell? I forgot the name of the club. True Blue. And I said we were talking about you. Me and him were at the bar, and we were talking about you and the whole Peter Frampton thing and all that stuff. And when I started talking to him about record deals that I was trying to get signed and all this kind of stuff, he was happy, and then the whole music business record deal thing got him made him nuts. Like he started, the hell with it? They ruin everything.
Yeah, well, Bob was extremely talented, and he should have had his own record deal, but he was with Peter that whole time, and it didn't work out for him as far as that. But he wound up playing with Foreigner. He wound up playing with Peter all the time. He was one of the greatest session musicians ever, and one of the greatest guys to ever. And remember, again, I'll tell you this: the most important thing to have a band and to be working with people is that the hang is great, is that everybody gets along and everybody has fun together. Otherwise, it doesn't make the music it makes the music 10 times better, but if you're not getting along, it doesn't. And Bob was one of those guys that could always make things happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I miss him. Yep, there you go, Sal. You always had that vibe.
Well, yeah, I've always been that way.
I told you years and years ago, get out there, Sal. Well, get out there and meet people because it's going to be important for you, and you have the personality, and it's worked.
Oh, yeah, well, I said, all the gigs that I've played, there was always my big smile. People say, Sal, your smile lights up New York City. Everybody in the audience is looking at you. Huh?
That's why you're the mayor.
But, it's the truth, because I'm happy when I'm on stage. It's like the happiest thing. I always loved it. It's like there's no better high. And I was the happiest. Nothing could go wrong. When you're on that stage, you feel like nothing could go wrong. It's just like you're so happy. And it came across, and people just dig that, They enjoy it with you.
It reflects to the audience, into the audience. That's the most important thing. You don't want to be a shoegazer looking down at your shoes and being, people really want to have a connection with the artist. They're spending their money, number one, to see you.
Exactly.
If you're lucky, you have records out there spending the money to buy records, and you got to give them the best you can give them, and that's the most important thing. And it's a great high. It's the best high there is.
And speaking of spending money to come see you, let me remind everybody again, all the people in the New York area, and also people who may not mind flying in from wherever they are. That's Frank Carillo and the Bandoleros will be playing Saturday night, April 26th. Doors open at 6 p.m., showtime 7 p.m. It's the Cutting Room, 44 East 32nd Street, New York. And you can buy advance tickets here right on the website and save $5. Or, if you can't get the tickets here, I'm sure you can get them at the door. But it might be sold out after the show, so I think you better buy them tonight.
Yeah, right.
Right.
I'll tell you a funny story.
Cheryl Mount, Pfeiffer University, she says she's digging Frank Carillo, Sal.
Wait, she in the chat? What is she in the chat room?
Oh, she posted it on the website.
Oh, what did she say?
She says she's digging Frank Carillo.
All right, and where's she from?
Thank you very, very much.
Yeah,
and
Pfeiffer University.
Where is it?
It's Pfeiffer University. I'm not sure where it is, where it's located, but
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little far off from the colleges now. You know, we were. There was a funny story about fans. Fans are amazing. My wife and I had gone out shopping one day, and we live upstate, and apparently these Dutch fans flew over from Holland, somehow found out the town that, because Golden Earring had come up here to do an album with Paul, and I played on it and wrote a bunch of the tunes with the guys, and they found out about this place, and they flew all the way over here, and we were out, and they wound up on our doorstep, and we couldn't figure out, and at first it was like we were scared to death because you never know who's going to wind up there, but they turned out to be really, really nice people, and you know, so I appreciate all of the fans that love the music, and you know, without you guys, all we're doing is writing music in our bedrooms and recording it and listening to it ourselves. So thank you, everybody.
And if anybody out there is listening, the number to call in right now, you call in and maybe win this Frank and the Bandolero CD called Someday. The number is 347-327-9451. Call on number 5 right now. Call in. Say hello to Frank and the boys here, and also Joanne, baby. And you'll get to win a CD. But so far, we do have 2 callers, which is Anthony Beneducci and Paul Speakus in Florida. And Beneducci's in Pennsylvania.
Hey, not far away.
Not far from you, Frank. Not far. I thought you were living out in California.
No, California, I'll never go there.
Okay. You've been there, done that, right?
I've been there so many times, and you know what? It's a whole different vibe than New York. I'll never leave New York. I mean, I'm out of the city now, but I still love New York. I love Brooklyn and Queens and Manhattan. I still have that connection, and I will never leave that connection until I croak.
Hey, being that there's so many people listening, and maybe they want to try to win a CD, Joanne, we have Someday queued up. Can we play that?
We certainly can.
All right, let's hear it. This is Someday by Frank Carillo and the Bandoleros. Let it rip, Joanne, baby.
Well, someday I'm gonna go back home. Someday I'm gonna go back home. I know this is not my home. I know this is not my home. Well, I hear voices through the veil. I hear voices through the veil. All my life I could hear them well. All my life I could hear them well. All right. Well, someday peace will rule this place. Someday peace will rule this place. Get your ticket and stake your claim. Don't leave your brothers and your sisters outside the gate. Now see the light inside your head. If you close your eyes, you'll see the light inside your head. You're gonna have to really look so hard. But that's the shining light of God. Well, someday I'm gonna go back home. I'm gonna go back home. I know this is not my home. I know this is not my home. Well, someday, go back home. Cause I know this is not my home. You know, I know this is not my home.
Yeah, baby, that's Frank Carillo and the Bandoleros from the album called Someday. I want to ask if there's anyone out there, I want to ask if there's anybody out there who wants to ask Frank any questions, you could post them in the comment box on the website right next to his 4 albums and the video and all the little comment box to the right. So if you want to ask any questions and leave in the comments, that would be cool. So that was Frank Carillo, baby. I love that song. I love both of these albums. They're very bluesy. I mean, it just gives me. I like that song, that other song. It did it with her pajamas on from Bad.
That was a funny tune.
I love those, man. It's a whole different approach. I mean, that's the thing about Frank
Carillo. There you go.
Yeah,
I got some letters from some women that said, you know, that they were abused from their husbands, and that song made them leave and go take shelter. It was really weird. The song came about in a very strange way. I left for the studio in the morning, and my wife was designing. She's a designer, Barbara Bixby. She designs jewelry, and
yes,
it was
give
about
Barbara a good shout
in the morning.
Frank, gotta give Barbara a really good shout. Tell everybody about her website and where they're going, all that.
Oh, Bixby Designs. That's her high-end website. She's also on QVC. Barbara Bixby, she's amazing. And she was the slight inspiration for that song because she got up in the morning, went downstairs and started designing. I got up, got ready for the studio, and I left. And when I came home, she was sitting in the same place. She goes, look how many designs I did. And I looked at her and I went, you did it with all your pajamas on. And I started thinking about it, and then I wrote this bizarre song about it. I don't know.
No, that's a great song. I'm familiar with every song on both of these CDs, but I have them both. Like I said, Someday I lost in the Sandy storm, but Bad Out There I still had upstairs, so that didn't get damaged. So
well,
I know every
copy. You know that. That Someday song was a song I wanted to write with just one chord, and the whole song, except for the harmonica, was cut live. My drummer said, give me a guitar. He played the slide, Eddie Seville, and Carl played bass, and Norman percussion. I played acoustic, and we cut the vocal and everything live, and we added the harmonica later. So that was a fun thing to do because, you know, cutting something live is like the old-fashioned way of doing it.
Oh yeah, that's the nice rawness of it. That's what makes it so good. I mean, even when we recorded with you, Frank, I remember when we did the song Tomorrow, we did it live first, and the recording was so powerful. And then when we actually started doing different stuff, it even though it still came out great, it wasn't as powerful as live. So I always feel like when you record something live from the days of the Beatles, when they just did it one take, you know, before they had 4-track and all that. To me, it's still always the best, man.
It is, because you're capturing a moment, you're capturing an excitement, and you might do it a couple of times, and then sometimes you just nail it. And that's really the exciting part of recording for me. I really love doing that. We've been doing some recording in September. August, September last year, we recorded a bunch of stuff acoustically live, and we're going to be doing them a couple of the songs at the show on the 26th.
I can't believe this hour It's flying. It flew by. We still got like 9 minutes. I want to get the song "Bad" out there on the air too in a minute. I just can't believe how fast this show is going. It's like people always say to me, "Sal, an hour is kind of long. What are we going to talk about for an hour?" And then when we do it, it's like, "Oh, geez, I wish it was 2 hours now." You know?
Yeah, really well. Is it really almost 10 o'clock?
It's 9:51. We got like 9 minutes left, but we're going to get some cool stuff happening in 9 minutes. But the thing is, every time any guest I have, they always say, "Sal, what are we going to talk about for a whole hour?" I said, "Believe me, when you get on the roll about talking things, an hour isn't even enough." I mean, we didn't even get into the, I wanted to talk about the days of recording with Jimmy Douglas, which is also a friend of mine when he recorded Street of Dreams with you.
Right.
He produced Street of Dreams.
I want to get into Kimsey and
Chris
Peter
Kimsey.
Frampton and the stuff I did with, I used to play, just kind of jam a little bit when I was visiting George Harrison at his place, and God bless.
And also you had some big name people doing backup singing on some of your albums. Wasn't Michael Bolton doing some
Michael
backup
Bolton
singing?
sang on Under the Gun on the second Carillo album, Street of Dreams, and also, what's his name from the Stories, the lead singer, my memory is going.
Joanne, you know Michael Bolton. Remember, he was really big quite a few years ago.
I know Michael Bolton.
Michael was a hell of a rock and roll singer before he started doing what he...
Oh, yeah, he definitely was.
Yeah. He was something else, that Michael. When he was singing those background vocals, I just was like sitting in the chair in the control room, and I kind of slunk down going, holy shit.
Yeah.
This sounds amazing, and really it was a lot of fun. And I've been lucky. I've been recording and doing a lot of things with a lot of great people, especially Golden Earring. I did their last album. They flew me out to London. I was staying with George, the lead guitar player, one of the lead singers and leader of the band, and the band wanted me to play on the album, so I played on the whole album. They flew me to London. We did it with Chris Kimsey, who engineered it and co-produced it with them. And I hadn't done a record with Chris in 30 years, and it was a gas. And we did it at state-of-the-art studios in Richmond, in London, and we had the best time. And recorded the album literally in 12 or 13 days.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Joanne, for Joanne that doesn't know, and even me and Anthony Beneducci and Palladino are very familiar with the Golden and Carillo. That was a great project as well, and some amazing. Great songs. Frank also had with Annie Golden. It was Golden and Carillo. They did 3 albums. What the first one was called, Town on Fire. What was it called again?
Fire in Newtown.
Fire in the Newtown, right? And then after that did Toxic Emotion. And then the other one was Back for More.
Yep.
And these are great albums, and there's so many great songs.
I love the names that you choose, Frank.
Oh, thank you. It's really funny. It's hard to name an album, Joanne. It really is, because you start thinking, what's it about? And all of a sudden, something kicks into your head, and you hope it works. But the Golden Earring record, the last one, the one I just did, I got a phone call from Barry Hay, the lead singer, and he lives down in Curacao, and he called me up and he said, "Frank, I got the name of the new record." And I said, "Great, what is it?" And he goes, "Tits and Ass." I went, "What?" I thought he said piss and ass. I'm going, I didn't know what to say to him, so I was going to call Halen and call George and go, "George, what the hell's going on?" He goes, "No, it's Tits and Ass." And it's a great cover. It's a 1940s B-17 bomber. And now, you know how they used to paint those things on the front of the bomber?
Right.
Like a beautiful girl with a bomb, and it's really great, but Tits and Ass is a little bit much for me.
And these albums are great. I mean, so many great songs on here. Stuff like Slow Burn and what is it? Walk on the Water. I loved Faded and Jaded. That song I could listen to it 20 times and not get sick of it in a row.
Jaded, I love that.
Faded and Jaded. If you got a minute, do you have a minute?
Yeah, sure.
Faded and Jaded was, Annie and I were in Holland. It was freezing cold. They didn't have a heater. We had an apartment just over by the Rijksmuseum at the Leidseplein in Holland and Amsterdam. And she went to go get some heaters, and I started writing the song, and then I see on TV that somebody tried to bomb the two towers. Remember when they put those trucks and they tried to blow it up the first time?
Right.
And that's when we wrote that song, Faded and Jaded. But it's funny because you remember certain things of where you were when you wrote certain songs. But anyway, I think I'm talking too much.
No, you're not. How about we we got 4 minutes left. Could we play Bad Out There real quick, Joanne?
Absolutely.
And we'll go over a few minutes. It'll be okay, right?
That'd be great.
Okay, let's hear Bad Out There by Frank Carillo and the Bandoleros from the album simply called Bad Out There.
It's getting bad out there. It's getting bad out there. And everybody's head is gonna need the best. 'Cause everything's changed. Don't be real. It's getting bad out there. It's getting hard to breathe. It's harder to believe that all the things are gone, the things you counted on. Peace of mind is rare. Can't find it anywhere. It's getting bad out there. Up in my attic room, paper boys still throws it on the lawn. City streets are emptier than New Year's Day. I wait for the other shoe to drop. I wait for the dawn, newspaper prophets by. Watch the cloudless sky, hint of what's to come. I stick out my thumb, I'm looking for a ride. Take me anywhere, it's getting bad out there. Then it's coming after me, and when the sun goes down, Con Air lights up the town that never sleeps. Begins the midnight creep, the paranoia game. Smell it in the air, getting bad out there.
What I want to say about that song is simply what we were talking about before. You can hear the raunchiness and live feeling. It sounds like Frank just plugged into a little amp and put a little distortion on, and I love that, man.
That's exactly what happened, Sal, and we recorded the vocal and the whole track live.
Yeah, I love it. I feel like I'm in a little room with a few guys with little amplifiers and just playing, and that's what I love about that song. It's real raunchy and
Thank you, man. Thank you very, very much.
So listen, we're gonna have to wrap this. It looks like Anthony Beneducci and Paulie are probably the winners of the CDs tonight.
You got it, boys. Anthony and Paulie, come on, go. Hey, get it.
So we'll be getting Paulie's address. I have all their addresses. So Frank, when I get the CDs. Also, Frank, we'll let you know tomorrow. Joanne usually finds out tomorrow in the afternoon how many people were tuned in worldwide. She always gives me the number. I got a feeling it's going to be a big one.
I hope so. Joanne, thanks for everything, honey. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your music.
You're
just wonderful.
Very welcome.
Thanks
for liking it. It really makes me feel good.
And we're going to have Frank back. Another shout out about Frank's playing this.
Good, because I got a story to tell, which I didn't get in tonight, but I'll tell it next
Go ahead,
time.
Paulie. Go ahead, man.
No. Go ahead. You finish up. I'll tell it next time, Paulie.
No. You could say it, and I'll do a quick. Joanne, are we going to get cut off soon, or we got a minute or two?
You can tell a story, absolutely.
Go ahead, Paulie. Tell a story.
All right. Well, Frank used to tell us all the time, all the people he knew and everything, and I said, you know what? I said, I don't know. This is when I first met him, so I really didn't know him well. I didn't know if he was a stand-up guy or just a bullshit artist. So he used to tell us all the time, oh, yeah, I worked on Twiggy's album. I wrote some songs for Twiggy. So who do I bump into one day at the airport but Twiggy?
No.
So I said, I'm going to go approach her and say, hey, do you know my friend? So I go over to her and I says, excuse me, Mr. Twiggy lady. I says, I got a friend who says he knows you. And she says, what's your friend's name? I said, Frank Carillo. She says, what a lovely man. So I said, do me a favor, just write down that I saw you. So she wrote on a little piece of paper, she wrote, hi, Frank, it's me. I was here. Love, Twigs. And I gave it to Frank. I don't know if you still have it, but I did give it to you.
I do have it. It's in my book.
I remember that story, Paulie.
It's
I
really
remember. Well, Paulie used to run into everybody. He used to run into Billy Joel.
I forgot about that until you just reminded me. I just heard from her in February, and she's doing great. God bless her. She's still beautiful, and I love her dearly. She's a really good friend.
All right, so you know what? Right before we wrap it up, I just want to say one more time that Frank Carillo and the Bandoleros will be playing at the Cutting Room Saturday, April 26th. Doors open at 6 o'clock, showtime 7 p.m. or maybe 8, depending on how fast the band's set up. And the Cutting Room is
the first band's Mark Lacob and Van Buren Boys, so then we go on after them.
Good. Okay, so you could say that one more time, Frank. Maybe somebody will say, yeah, I want to see that band too.
Yeah, Mark Lacob and the Van Buren Boys. They're going to open for us.
Hey, I want to see that band too.
There you go. See, I told you. And that'll be at the Cutting Room on 44th East 32nd Street in New York City. You could buy tickets, like I said, in advance right on my website here, the www.themayorofrockandroll.com, and you could save $5 if you buy tickets now. And don't forget also to go on Frank's albums and click on one of them, take it straight to Amazon.com, and bang, buy the CD, baby. So
you won't be disappointed.
Frank, do you want to give a shout-out to anybody before we leave? So, Frank, if you want to give a shout-out, say whatever you want before we leave, and then we're going to wrap it up.
I want to say hello to all the guys from East New York. I love you all, especially Lukey and my wife, who's been amazing, and the Dr. Patel, my surgeon. Aside from that, I love you, Sal. I love all of you. Joanne, it was a pleasure to talk to you.
You
Anthony,
too,
Paul,
Frank.
God bless, and I hope I see you guys.
That's
Be
it.
good.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Paulie and Anthony, for calling in and for people leaving some comments. This has been the Sal Sirchia Show, the Mayor of Rock and Roll, and we say cheers till next time, till next week, actually. All right.
Cheers.
I'll be there.
Thank you for listening. This has been a Mathis Media Hub production.